Hi guys, and welcome to DIY Hair School. And on today's video, we are going to talk about how you can tell if your hair has breakage or if you just have new baby hairs. This is a question I get a lot in my DMs and from my clients in my salon. And people will see these little hairs and they're trying to figure out, is my hair damaged or is this new growth? And it's actually pretty easy to figure out if you have damaged hair or if you have new growth. But when you're not sure, it can be a little scary, especially if you're someone who colors or heat styles your hair. You want to make sure you're not damaging it. And when you see those little hairs, all of a sudden, it can be shocking. We're going to up close, and I'm going to show you here with the window light my hairs. So you can see I have quite a bit of short hairs that stick up. And the more staticky my hair is, the more you can notice all those little hairs. And this is most commonly what I see people noticing in their hair, and they'll freak out saying, is that breakage? And the answer there is no, that is not breakage. Those are new hairs growing in. You shed between 50 to 100 hairs every single day, and then that hair follicle is going to start growing new hairs. So obviously as those hairs grow in, they're gonna reach a point where they're a few inches long, and especially if you have fine hair, they can stick up really easily and they become really noticeable. One of the reasons you might not notice them all the time and it feels like all of a sudden there's a bunch there, which can lead to people wondering if it's breakage, is because you're going through a shed cycle and then more of a heavy growth cycle. You are always growing some hairs and shedding some hairs, but there will be times when you are growing more because you might have shed a little heavier for a while for health reasons, hormonal imbalances, or just your typical cycles. We do tend to go through shed cycles, dormant cycles, and growth cycles with our hair. And that might be a time if you're in a really heavy shed cycle, you notice that there's a lot more hair than usual coming out of your brush. And at some point, several months later, you're all of a sudden going to notice all these little baby hairs. That's because that's all of that hair growing back. Another good indicator that it is baby hairs or new growth hairs and not broken hairs is that broken hairs usually come in entire sections. So I do have some broken hair here at the nape of my neck. I will show you. All of this hair back here gets broken off from pulling my hair up. You can see the hair kind of goes like right to where I would wear my ponytail. And it's just stress and pressure. I did go through a phase where I was wearing my hair up in a bun a lot when I went to bed, which is a big no-no, and I do know better, and that did cause quite a bit of breakage at the nape of my neck. But when you look at it, you can see it's an entire section of hair. It's not sort of all these hairs spread out throughout my head. You have breakage from chemical damage or from heat damage. You'll also notice that the hairs won't be smooth. So when you look at my little baby hairs, you can see that the ends of them are smooth. They don't look damaged or crinkly in any way. They are the same texture as a healthy hair. If I had damaged hairs, then they would likely be frizzier looking, drier, almost like crinkly looking on the ends where the chemical or heat damage has occurred. I'm going to put a picture here, and in the area that's circled, you can actually see her damage, whether that's from over flat ironing, chemicals. Based on the area, it could also be ponytail hair tie damage from having her hair in a ponytail all the time, especially if you're putting it in a ponytail wet. Either way, that's a good example of some damage and breakage in your hair. And it's pretty obvious. Usually if you have little hairs and you're not sure where they came from, but you're not sure if it's damaged, it probably isn't, because honestly, in my opinion, damage is pretty obvious. And how she's sort of got this layer of damage there, it's kind of very, very common for it to show up that way, almost like having a layer of hair suddenly that you didn't cut into your hair. One more thing I just want to touch on lightly before we finish up the video is I do get a lot of questions specifically from people who dye their hair or bleach their hair like me, and they will notice the little hairs or they might notice damage in their hair. Either way, if you do notice damage in your hair and your hair is colored or bleached like mine, people are always like, do I need to stop coloring my hair? And well, the answer is the coloring might not be the reason your hair is damaged. You need to figure out why your hair is damaged. So Often people will be getting highlights and they'll say, over the years, my hair has become damaged and I don't know what to do. I really want to keep being blonde, but I don't want to damage my hair any further. And they'll ask me what they can tell their stylist so that they stop damaging their hair. Now I tell them, if your stylist is only touching up your new growth and not overlapping onto your old color, then that color is not damaging your hair every appointment. What's happening is, because the chemical process of coloring with permanent dye or with bleach does weaken the hair, you do need to make sure that you are taking care of your hair in between and using products like hydration masks and bond builders like K18 or Olaplex that are going to strengthen the hair in between. Otherwise, over time, your hair will just get weaker and weaker and weaker, because not only do the chemicals weaken the hair in the first place, but any heat you use, washing your hair over time, exposure to different environmental factors, everything is always kind of beating your hair down. So that's why it's really, really important that you have a good, healthy hair routine. And I can link mine right here to really keep your hair healthy and strong, so that over time your hair doesn't become damaged. Because you can absolutely bleach your hair on a regular basis, you can absolutely color your hair on a regular basis, you can put your hair up on a regular basis, you can heat style it on a regular basis, as long as your hair starts healthy and then you keep it healthy with the right products and the right kind of whole system in place to support whatever it is that you put your hair through. But it's kind of like wondering why you keep getting a sunburn when you go out in the sun without sunscreen. I mean, you're just putting your skin through it and getting wrinkles and getting sun damage and possibly getting a skin cancer. And there's lots you can do to avoid that and to support healthy skin, and your hair is the same. There's lots you can do to keep your hair healthy and supported. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I hope this video helped to clear up whether or not you have new growth, baby hairs, or damage to your hair. Let me know in the comments if you have any more specific questions and I can answer those for you guys. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, because I do post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I post every day in my shorts, on my TikTok, and on my Instagram at DIY Hair School. Thanks, guys.